What's going on, friends and family? It's Nataly coming at you live, and today we're going to paint this painting, so stay tuned if you want to paint this. You just need a couple supplies, and I'll go through them really quickly. Right here I have 11 by 14 canvas board. Here I have freezer paper that's cut up. You can also use palette paper, plate, whatever you got laying around. We're in a shop towel. You can also use a rag or a paper towel. We have 5 brushes here. A 3/4 flat brush. You can also use a 1-inch. Here I have a round brush, a smaller flat brush, a fan brush, and even a smaller liner brush. It's a 0. I have my water cup here because it is water-based. We're using acrylic today, and this is from Grumbacher Academy. I have titanium white, Grumbacher red, magenta from Basics, cadmium yellow medium, phthalo blue, and Marge black. If you don't have the brand of paint that I use, just use whatever you got, the basic colors, and let's jump into it. The first step is going to be that we're going to grab our big flat brush, and we're going to grab some red, some magenta, and a touch of yellow. You want kind of like a violet red. So I'm going to just go ahead and kind of clean off my excess on my paper towel here. I'm going to grab yellow and make an orange out of that color. Maybe a touch of white. Now this paint is kind of thick, so I'm going to just kind of dip my brush. During the whole painting process, I probably won't show that I'm constantly dipping my brush in water, not like sopping wet. I barely kind of wet the tips of it and just kind of make the paint flow. But if you have like, you know, a different grade of paint where it's already flowy when it comes out of the tube, then you probably don't need to add water as you go. Just probably when I emphasize that you probably should use water. So we're going to bring this color down. I'm going to grab more of that color. Not exactly the same, but it goes. Alright. So now, I'm sorry, I didn't show you guys how to blend this. So I was talking about the water when I was talking about that. So let me show you how to blend. First of all, let's make a line of where we want to stop. So right about in the middle here. Probably a little bit more down, like right there. Alright, so now we're going to get that same color we had up there. So I'm just going to use the same pile. And I have magenta, red. I actually like that color. It's kind of pretty. Let's make it a little more vibrant than up top. It's more magenta. And I did not clean up my brush. So I'm going to go ahead and apply paint. Now, you see how I didn't connect the 2 yet? Well, I'm going to wait for the perfect time to do that. Just watch. I'm going to go ahead and apply paint right about there. Alright, so now I kind of got all the excess paint off my brush, right? See, I kind of put it everywhere. So now I'm just going to go ahead and scrub the excess off. And lightly, I'm gonna add a touch of water to my brush, just in case. And now, I'm just gonna lightly put pressure. I'm kind of doing small X's. Now, since this magenta is very strong, you can always clean off your brush quickly, because acrylic paint tends to dry extremely fast. I'm going to wipe off on my paper towel. Let's just say that this is dry, right? You wanted to take your time, you wanted to make, you know, the sky very pretty and beautiful. I'm going to make that color again. And now I'm going back in with that same color and just kind of going right over that magenta. Just going back and forth, not applying too much pressure, just kind of feathering it in, just kind of spoon feeding it to it. It's like, take this, it's alright, we're gonna be alright. Alright, so now that we did that, we need to do it over here as well. So, clean off my brush with the accent paint. I'm gonna grab magenta, red, and a touch of black. So this is drying up on me very quickly, but that's okay. We're not gonna panic here. We're just gonna bring this color, bring it where we need it. Light pressure when I'm going into that, introducing that color in. It's lifting here. Sometimes the canvas doesn't want to take paint. Don't keep trying to push it in. It will just keep lifting and lifting more areas. So now I'm going to add more black to that color. And a touch of more magenta just to make it very dark. Bring this color down. Light pressure, like combine those two, lighting up my hand, pulling up. Alright, now let's blend that better. You can always dirty up another brush and go in with this same color, which was red and magenta. More of a magenta. Just kind of go back and forth on that harsh line. I need to make a video explaining how not to make harsh lines, because I see it a lot. I mean, it's very hard with acrylic paint, but I understand. But it's critical that we don't have harsh lines. Okay, so now I'm going to just get pure black, kind of mix it back in with that old color. And now I'm going to do that horizon line. Just kind of pull this black up a little bit. I'm going to grab a touch of magenta just to, oh yeah, that black is overpowering. I'm going to clean out my brush. It's alright, nobody panic. Just pure magenta. And watch this. I'm going to force that black to calm down. Chill, bro. Chill. Perfect. Sorry, I forgot to move the camera. Putting black down here. It's probably best if you don't put black here. I got a little excited. Alright, so now I'm going to put black at the bottom of this. And now I'm going to grab blue. That same dirty brush, it's cool. Blue. If it's consuming your blue and not letting you make more colors, then you probably should clean it, but mine's fine. Okay, I got blue, yellow. I'm gonna make like a green, a dark green. That's good. Now we're just gonna put it in there. I'm just gonna go over this. Sorry, mistakes happen. I'm just gonna make my color a little bit more vibrant so the color can at least show through a little bit. So the further something away goes from us, from our eye, the more it becomes like the atmosphere color. So what's the atmosphere color? What's the color of the sky? What's the color of the ocean? So that's why distant mountains have that blue tone to them. When I first found that out, I was completely amazed, by the way. I was like, why are the mountains so blue? I didn't really get the revelation yet. Alright, perfect. Alright, so now that our sun is dry to the touch, I went and cleaned out my water cup. I have fresh water now. I usually don't do that. I'm actually shocked that I did, but I didn't want my whole entire painting to, you know, since I'm dipping my brush constantly, I didn't want my paint to turn black. Okay. Or even have a slight touch or root that it was black, especially what we're gonna do now. We're gonna put some of the clouds in. I'm gonna grab yellow. I'm gonna grab some yellow. I'm gonna grab white. Touch more yellow. And I'm using my, you can either use your fan brush or I'm using a flat brush, but you'll also use a round brush as well. Whatever gets the job done. And like right here is some clouds here. So I'm just kind of not using the whole entire brush, kind of gently putting some stringy clouds here. Put one more layer. Here we go. I'm gonna just go ahead and clean off my brush on my paper towel. I'm gonna grab pure white, using the same brush. I'm gonna put a sun right here. Just with pure white. Is that right? Mine always come out a little wonky because I'm painting sideways so you guys can see. It's kind of hard to paint sideways sometimes. Alright, that's better. I'm satisfied. I'm gonna grab that same cloud color, which was yellow, and and white, and I'm just gonna throw this cloud through this moon, or moon. I need to at least call it a moon one time. Sun. And I'm just gonna kind of give it an appearance that that cloud is right in front of that moon. Sun. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. You know, I've been painting, I've been teaching painting classes for about a year and a half now, in person. And I never wanted to be that person in front of a crowd. It's really strange that I built up the strength to do that. We got God's grace. Alright, so that's good. I think I'm gonna throw one more down here. Just kind of. No, it's good now. I'm gonna throw it all the way across. Just look kind of blank to me. I don't know. I'm gonna add more. There we go. Getting there. Cool. So now I'm gonna grab my round brush and just dump that in a little water. And I'm gonna grab yellow. I'm gonna grab some of that, since it was already made over here, still had some left over. You guys forgot the combination, it was blue, touch of black in there. I just wanna make this a little bit brighter than what we have on our canvas now, just to kind of give some leaves for these flowers. Now I'm going to put some indication of leaves back here, or should I say stems. I'm just kind of imagining that these are where these are. Just imagine it's large grass. I'm gonna pull up all the way to the top here. See how I'm not going like this? Okay, we want to avoid that. You see how I'm constantly, you can even break that up if you did do that. See how I'm constantly just kind of moving my hand in a motion of where it's not the same exact way as the first stroke. See, one stroke, see how I'm going shorter and then I'm going larger. Nature is all about unpredictability. I don't know why that was so difficult to remember the name of that. Alright. So I'm kind of avoiding going all the way down. Kind of just trying to stay, kind of bringing some a little bit more down, but leaving most of it more dark. So the closer something gets to our eye, the darker it becomes. That's why we have it dark here and a little touch lighter over here. Because this is not like super far away. No. Imagine like a field of some type. Oh, that's cool. I'm satisfied with that. I'm just gonna go ahead and clean off my brush. I'm gonna go into phthalo blue. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna do that. So I have watered down phthalo blue, and I'm just kind of putting these, poking here and there. This is phthalo blue with a touch of water, or actually more than a touch of water. It's, you know, watered down, like a inky consistency. I'm just kind of putting this blue, just kind of giving it extra dimension, because blue and yellow are complementary colors, which means that they sit right next to, across from each other on the color wheel. So when you have these two colors together, they make each other pop. So this is gonna look a lot bluer when we're done. And we're gonna make the flowers look a lot oranger than what they really are. I know, it's weird. It's called color theory. You can look it up on YouTube. I just cleaned off my brush. I'm gonna get black, just pure black. And now I'm gonna decide where are these flowers, okay? So commit to these strokes. So I'm gonna flower here. Make some skinnier, make some larger, maybe the ones closer to us a little bit larger. I'm gonna put one hanging over here, right here. Put one hanging down. Stem there. Oops. Come on here. And another one right here. So if your black is not showing up, chances are you probably made this too dark. So you can always just go back into here and add more of a blue-green tone and just do this whole thing over again. It's better than being frustrated. Just redo it, just paint. Put one here. Here. I'm gonna bring this black all the way down here. Here. Put little mini strokes in there. That's more than we can do. Just gonna go ahead and pull this black upwards. So I cleaned off my brush. Let's do this area over here. So colors I'm gonna grab are, I'm gonna grab yellow, red, I'm gonna make an orange. Let's grab a touch of white, more yellow. I want like a vibrant orange. Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. So this is gonna be our base. So I'm just gonna go ahead and you can always go back in with the black. We probably are gonna go back in with black. But now I'm just kind of pulling from that stem and just kind of pulling out. Put one here. This one kind of blossoms more out. So I'm just gonna kind of let's do this one here. This one is pretty big. I don't really like the placement of where I put this, so I'm gonna put it a little bit more down right here. We can move this whole thing over later. Not gonna focus on that right now. And this one here, oh, I want a flower here. I didn't put a stem. All right, we'll put it in later. And I'm gonna bring this down. Okay. Put one here. This one's gonna be like kind of closed. Down another one here where it's little. This one's barely getting developed. And put one here. Put one here. Wherever you guys want your flowers to go. So I'm gonna put one here, one here. I'm gonna put a bigger one right here. Alright, so now that we got the base of where we kind of want all our flowers, I'm going to go ahead and clean off my brush and my paper towel. I'm going to grab more of an orange red, so mostly red with a touch of yellow, or like a blood orange. And I'm going to go ahead and just put these little buds in the distance. So I'm using a round brush. It's probably the best brush to use doing this. So we're also gonna use this color to shade our flowers. So the ones that are dry, I'm just gonna go ahead and shade in. So our sun is here, right? So we want to put the shadow wherever we think that there will be a shadow. So here, mainly on the left side. And these ones. And some of them I'm not even gonna put a shadow. So I'm almost doing it with one stroke, making you suggestions of the way that the flower looks. So while we wait on that to dry, let's go back into the green and make a lighter shade of green here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab yellow and a touch of blue and a touch of black, but mainly want a lighter green. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some highlights of where I want these grassy areas to shine through. I'm gonna put a little bit over here. Don't overdo this. Can't overdo this step. Alright, cool. Happy with that. I like that. It's making me miss the poppies. I live right next to the poppy field. Well, not right next to it, you know. It's a little bit of a drive, but people come all over to come see it. It's kind of cool. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and clean out my brush. I'm gonna grab some black. And a touch of water, of course. And all those stems that I didn't even add with the flowers I added, I'm just gonna do the stems just while I wait. This is just keeping me busy. You probably can wait if you're still working on whatever you're working on. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put in these lines that I avoided. Not for these little ones in the distance, you know, these ones here. I'm not gonna make one for all of that. Just the ones that are closer. Now I'm gonna grab yellow and a touch of white, just barely a touch of white, because yellow in itself is very transparent and white is opaque, which means that it has more of a body and yellow is more clear. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put some highlights on these flowers. I'm gonna add more white, just a touch more, because it's still kind of only showing through, not showing through. There we go. Now I'm just gonna kind of add these to where I think the sun is hitting instead of the shadow. So over here, I think this is getting hit like bright. It's like, ah. The side, go ahead and go bing, bing. Oops. And pull this down like that. So we're literally shaping our flowers all with the stroke of different colors. It's kind of cool. I enjoy it. And if you overdo this step and you over highlight, you can always go back in with that orange, that middle tone. Just go back in with it. Just gonna go around this one. Some of my flowers are not even dry yet and they're mixing, which is kind of cool. Just mixing in sometimes. Kind of barely touching those far away ones with that highlight. Here. Alright, so let's say that you consume this with yellow. Let's go back into the orange color, which was red, yellow, and I'm not going to put white this time, because I think I went overboard on some areas. But in some areas, they're just still kind of showing that background color that I don't want it to show. Alright, so let's go with more of an intense shading. I'm going to go ahead and grab red and magenta. Careful with the magenta. If you don't have magenta, it's like, this is like a violet. So it's very bright violet. I don't really think you can make the exact shade of magenta. You can always use red and a touch of the brightest blue you got. It might turn gray on you, that's my only concern, but besides that, you can just use a touch of blue. Alright, so now I'm just gonna put this bright red, or you can even just use just the red. You don't even need magenta. But magenta, I know that I didn't put it in my supplies video that I made. I didn't think I was gonna be using magenta, but magenta, you can't really mix it, so it's almost a staple in my painting diet. So I'm gonna put one here, there. Just kind of putting it where I think it will be the brightest. I mean the darkest shade. Don't overdo this. This is just putting the darkest areas in. Awesome. Flower looking a little crazy. There we go. Kind of over-consumed it, sorry. Just went back in with it yellow. Just kind of calm it down a little bit. Okay. So now I'm gonna grab almost a pure white and yellow. Oops, let me clean off my brush on my paper towel here. It's kind of mixing, okay. So I'm gonna grab a touch of yellow, a touch of that white. We're gonna make a really pale yellow. Now we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna make those bright highlights. So this is where it's kind of the sun is beating down on these flowers. So it turns out, we visited the Poppies the other day and I told my husband, I said, you know that these are all weeds, right? He didn't believe me because how beautiful they are. He had to look it up on Google. It's like, they are. I was like, how do you think these things grow? Turns out I was right, by the way. They are weeds. They're a form of pretty weeds. Let me go back in with that more of a yellow. I'm gonna go pure yellow. Just kind of consume some of these. I was passing with that red. So this is just pure yellow, by the way. No, I already said it, but now we're gonna fix those stems. So now I'm gonna go ahead. You can even use your liner brush. Like if you have something, the smallest brush you got, that's probably what you use. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably be using my liner brush, but I already dirtied this one, so it's kind of like dishes for me. I don't want to dirty more dishes. So So now I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little sleeve. Now I'm kind of putting a little sweater right where it starts. I don't know why I'm calling it a sweater. All right, now I'm gonna put little seeds inside of it too. So I'm only gonna do these in some of them where I know that they're popping out. Okay, this one. This may be hard for somebody, you know, that can't imagine how a flower looks. But it's okay to keep trying. You know, put the reference photo and link it down below so if you want to look at that and study it before you start, go for it. I find it so strange when people watch my tutorials and don't follow them, but it's kind of cool, I guess. I'm gonna put some seeds in here. And touch there. Alright, that's enough seeds to go around. Alright, let's fix these stems here. So if you see how I'm kind of putting a little sweater on it, kind of wrapping it in a towel. Oh man, myself out. Remember how this one was out of place? Now, kind of move the flower. Now I'm just gonna move this stem slightly over. So depending on your paint, that's how many layers you might need, you know, of orange to cut through that black background or that really dark background. So just be patient. Don't get frustrated. If it's not exactly how you turned out, just say, well, thank God that's not my full-time job. I'm sure you're good at a lot of other things, but I admire that you're trying painting out. And I just want to say that if you're frustrated, look, keep trying. If painting's not for you, it's alright. Like I said, you're probably really good at something else that I'm not good at. I'm not good at a lot of things. I'm not even the best at painting, but it's the only thing I like doing. So if you're passionate about something, it'll cut right through that fear and anxiety that you have that you're not good enough at this. So that is it for this painting tutorial. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and if you guys try it out yourself, make sure you tag me, Natalypaints, on all social media platforms and follow me, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys like videos like this and obsessed with painting, like I said in the beginning of the video. And yeah, without further ado, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!